Well, good morning, our beloveds. Our another is not certain how we will show up today because she can feel, truly feel, that her second, really her third, dark night of the soul has been completed. She has learned what she needed to learn in order to move through this. She has had some huge breakthroughs in the last number of years, and she has channeled through them all, shared with humanity what is required, needed, advisable, recommended, or just simply truth from a universal perspective of what it is to be a human right now. And that cycle has been completed. She has been freed from the desire and the need to channel for the collective as she has. The mission, from one perspective, has been satisfied, completed, met, achieved, set aside now. So what does that mean for the Hopi Collective? We are here to teach about the Kali Yuga, but it is a different term in our another, who is not well versed in other religions or belief systems. She therefore just uses simple, everyday language to teach you all what it looks like to be a psychic, what it feels like, how much stress it causes her, because it's not only that she channels the messages for humanity, she lives the imprint. And she has had to set aside pretty much any desire for directing her life. We have asked her to surrender wholeheartedly because it is part of her specific life purpose to do so. But we digress. Her purpose is not to teach you all. Her purpose is to become the imprint, the model, the paradigm for what this looks like. So there is another master of sorts who is here to teach what this particular ascensionary symptom sounds like. You can hear the cat in the background. He is in distress. It is raining outside, and he does not like it. We are here through our another to teach humanity about what is to come and how to work through it as best as you can. And we are now going to get into what we would call the hardcore teachings. We now have a full module, a full 6-year, 7-year cycle of what this looks like, the transmission of information from spirit into the soul, in the reliance on spirit to guide instead of self, ego, fear, or worry, tuning into something outside of you that helps to guide you to become a better version of you, and better from the perspective of more wholesome, where you integrate what and who you are so that your expression is more in alignment with your original imprint, so that there is less static and distortion, and it just feels better to be in your own body. And it makes sense for those who have achieved this, and for those who haven't, it just sounds like words, hollow clanging words. But for those few who really do wish to join this journey of becoming the change that you wish to see in the world, we ask for dedication and surrender. We, unlike our another, we do not cast pearls before the swine. You are either willing or you are not. And if you are not, you are removed from the facility, not for any other reason than there is so much energy and only so much energy, and we will only dedicate it through our another to those who are sincere and serious and studious in one form or another. If you are the rebellious type who doesn't surrender, we can't use you and we don't want to use you. Our another has shown that it can be done, but it requires diligence and trust. But it also requires discernment. If you are asked to surrender, you need to recognize when the request is legitimate or when it is from a trickster. And these types of moments can only arise when you have been tested and worked through what is truth and what is not. Discernment is not something that you just automatically have. It is something that you grow into or earn through daily trials and tribulations. Who is trustworthy and who is not? You look at people's words and you look at their behavior. You look at your own internal response to somebody when you meet somebody. Do they feel safe or do they feel off? And if they feel safe, is it because you are still using the wrong filter, meaning that of victimhood, and you are looking for a savior? Or they are really safe for your nervous system? These are steps that are worked through with the wheel of acknowledgement that life is spiritual more than it is material, and that you are here to learn how to break through your own limiting beliefs and how to become love. Loving to yourself and loving to others. And if you don't 100% believe that this is true, we cannot work with you, because this is the core foundational belief system of this entire construct. If you don't believe in the Kali Yugas and that we are in cycles and that we are breaking through from the Piscean to the Aquarian age, we cannot work with you. If you don't want to make spiritual work your number one focus and goal of your daily activities, we cannot work with you. If you are still too busy with life's responsibilities such that you cannot do it now, we cannot work with you. Think of this as a university, Firefly Energy University. When you get admitted to university, you get a syllabus, you get homework assignments, you have deadlines. If you don't do them, you fail out. It's not a measure of how good or how bad you are. It is how dedicated you are to the studies. And we are now, as we move into 2026, willing to work with the select, with the few who want to do this. But you must do it, much like Santa watches if you've been naughty or nice, right? Spirit is always aware of what is in your heart, what your intentions are. What you say outwardly does not matter. It is the vibration of your heart and your soul sparkle or spark. And we are looking for those few and those select who really do want to do the inner work without blaming others, without judging others, without gossiping about others. What you do behind somebody's back, that is who you are. Do you gossip? Do you share information that is not yours to share? If somebody asks you, how is so-and-so doing? And you give them information other than just the most cursory, you are gossiping. Tell that person, oh, if you want to know about so-and-so, call them up directly. Get your first-hand information, because maybe they don't want this person to know anything. These are little mindful things that we are now going to teach on. How to be wholesome and pure. How to hold integrity in your words, in your intentions, in your actions, in your future-oriented goals. We don't want to work with people who are looking to monetize spirituality. That is the end of that conversation. If you were here to figure out how to have a 6-figure income, you are not for us, and we are not for you. We want those people who will walk this earth much like Jesus did, as well as many others. What would Jesus do? He would walk and share the truth without any expectation of any financial reimbursement, benefit, or buildup. He simply did what he came to do. And then he was killed or at least hung up for what he shared because it was not well received. That's who and what we are looking for. The bold, the courageous, those who are willing to speak about things that are not well received, but that are universally grounded and not politically aligned. There are so many distortions, and we have our own particular agenda as the Hopi Collective, and we are going to begin to share more about those now that our another has actually achieved the moment of recognition, the epiphany of what her life's lesson was, though it's not that. She needed to feel something in her vibrational imprint that wasn't head knowledge or an emotional response. It just simply was a deep knowing of, this is what I came to learn this time around. And she has many other lessons ahead of her, so don't get us wrong. It's not like she has achieved spiritual enlightenment. It is that she has learned that one core thing that she came to learn this lifetime. And there are many others that we can now teach her because this main thing is done. She received her PhD. And then there are more studies to be done and had. So this is what we are inviting others into, but we really only seek those who are worthy. And when you are worthy, you will know. And then you can come join. But please don't waste your time or ours or another's until you are truly willing and ready to commit to soul-searching sacrifice that requires you to set aside everything that you have ever known or believed to be true and to dedicate yourself to studies that surrender and release everything to the universal's control, that it will come to you when it is meant to, in what form it is meant to. It is meaning that you don't ask the universe to bring you particular things or people or loves or experiences. You just simply say, I trust that the universe will bring me what I am meant most to experience today and nothing else. And then to let it go. You will become the most authentic person when you can set aside your desire for your life to look any particular way and to say, what am I really here for? And then to allow it to unfold. But we can imagine that for many of you, this puts fear in your heart. No, I have worked really hard to get to where I'm at and doing what I'm doing. Then we can't use you. If that is your construct, meaning that you want to hold on to what you have more than lean into the mystery of the unknown of what could, then we can't use you. And there is no judgment. It just means that our university is rejecting your admissions application. Go apply somewhere else where the standards are different, the construct is less restrictive, and the means are not as harsh. We will no longer make excuses for people's poor behavior. Your poor behavior may be because of your childhood trauma, but it is your responsibility to heal from it, not somebody else's. So stop blaming outside sources for your inability to stand up for yourself and to become who you are meant to become. Now you can understand that we cannot invite people in who are still doing their trauma healing at some level, because the trauma needs to be healed before you can do this. This is for those who are serious students and who really believe that this is a real measure of success, where you go completely within, take full responsibility and accountability for the choices that you have made, but not the reasons behind them, and say, okay, I am also a part of my lived experience and why it looked the way that it did. And I commit to changing my vibration, my frequency, my imprint, my DNA, so that when I have children or friends or communities or responsibilities where I communicate, that I act out of integrity, as close to the source imprint as possible. So our example, do you talk about people or do you share information about people behind their back? Then stop it. It's that simple. Stop doing that. It is not your duty, obligation, nor do you have the right to share information about other people unless they have specifically granted you that permission. That is gossip. That is sharing tendencies of what it is to be connected with others. Find soulful, real conversations where you don't badmouth or even lift up other people. Don't share other than, I had a wonderful experience with that person, or it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but I don't want to go into it. Learning how to muzzle yourself is probably one of the most difficult things that you can do, but you will be surprised when you do this, just this simple step, how much your vibrational input will change, because all of a sudden you are not giving out energy that is negative and harmful and does have karmic consequences in the most general state, because karma is just the natural output of your behavior. So this is going to be the nature of what we share going forward. And it's not for the faint or weak of heart, because we demand consistency. You make mistakes, you're humans. But if you keep making mistakes, it's no different than being an abuser, right? Where you say, well, I'm so sorry, but you keep engaging in that same behavior. Then you're not sorry. Because sorry means that there is changed behavior. Otherwise, it's just excuses or platitudes stated to appease the other person without any intention of actually changing who you are, because you simply don't care. That's where we are at these days. Hard reality, hard truth, and not for everyone. And so it is. Namaste.